I'll keep it real with you guys. My last year has been brutal, pretty terrible, because I decided to drop everything I was working on and go all in on my dream of building a successful app. At time of shooting, I have 17 users, each paying $200 per month. And overall, it's been 10 times harder than I expected. And the reason I'm making this video is because maybe you can enjoy my pain. Maybe you can learn from my mistakes. I mean, I'm sure you can if you're thinking about building an app on your own, whether you're a developer or just someone who wants to start a business. And also because I need your help, I'm launching the new version of my app on Product Hunt. I'll explain what's new in the V2 and how it fixes basically all my mistakes, but I really need your help. If you can just upvote me to the top. It's super hard to compete as a small new company. Then I'll be able to keep making videos like this about the progress and hopefully turn this into a success story. So I put the link below if you have just 1 minute, even if it's as you listen to this video. Okay, so first I'll give a quick overview of the timeline. How did I come up with the idea? How does it solve the problems? And what are the mistakes? My starting point is being an influencer sort of here on YouTube, as well as my brand Freemote, which we scaled with a lot of different types of marketing. So I thought based on my skill set, coding, influencer, and marketing, I would create an app to help brands do influencer marketing more easily. I also had experience with Shopify, and I thought, hey, since there are 2 million Shopify stores, that can be a good market for me. I can just start with them and then maybe branch out once I get that working. So what I landed on was a Shopify app, and I started by buying leads to interview with a service called appstoreresearch.com. For $100 each, I could interview store owners and ask them basically any question that I wanted to, which is very valuable market research data that can allow me to hear and identify the problems that these stores are having so I can build them a real solution. So after interviewing 10 of these stores, $100 each, the same challenges definitely kept coming up. When it came to working with influencers, that is, in most cases, promoting products by sending them to an influencer, for example, on Instagram, and then they would do a post or a reel, and hopefully their followers would turn into customers when they see this product. That's basically how it works. So for these stores, it was very hard to first find influencers in bulk. The interfaces for searching on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, they're not really built for brands to find new people. So they needed some way to do this very quickly, searching by keywords. Who are the influencers? Like, where are they based? Are they male, female, etc., and so on. Because to really scale this, you need dozens, if not hundreds, of influencers. The second common problem was wasting money on influencers and not knowing why. So you send them products and you get no sales, super common, which can really be for a variety of reasons. However, there are some key things. For example, does this person have a lot of fake followers? Is their audience your target customers? And there are ways to get this data. So I found that problem very interesting. And then challenge number 3 was automation. So all the little things you need to do, from contacting people to managing them, keeping them organized, knowing who's in what stage, mostly using spreadsheets for this. So I thought, well, hey, if there's a way to integrate with Shopify, create orders, discount codes, send emails, obviously the ideas started going in my head, which became dangerous, and I'll explain why. So long story short, I heard these challenges and I was positive I could fix some of them. So in my calls, I started to say, well, hey, if we built this thing where you can search for influencers, you can get all their data, like their follower demographics, their email, everything, and then you can easily contact them and everything's automated. Is that something you'd use? And quite literally 80% of people said they would try it, which to me, I thought I had the best idea ever. However, this is my first mistake, because someone liking an idea is very different than them investing time and money to get the outcome. Of course they want the outcome, but what is it going to cost them? So that's something I did not calculate. And of all those people that said they would use it, I would say it was only 1 out of 5. So much less. But I didn't know this yet. So what I did was I started to build the idea. And here's the beginning of my next mistake. I went into this loop of building for 2 months. Then I would show what I've built to 10 more stores and get their feedback. But every store who saw it said, yeah, this is cool, this is great, but if you just had this, then I would definitely use it. And most stores would say that. So every call I'd have a new feature, and instead of evaluating, is this a good thing to put in, I would usually just build it, which would take even more time. So then I would do 2 more months, 10 more calls. And I was repeating this for at least 3 cycles, 6 months. So what I ended up building beyond the initial search tool was literally a bulk email tool as well. I built this whole system with contracts where there's a drag and drop editor. You can design contracts. When someone submits the contract, it does like 4 different automations. It sends an email. It sends a landing page link that's custom for the person. It gets their shipping address. I mean, even just to list all the features would take like a full minute. And then on top of that, I had all these analytics and payments. So it would detect when someone posts, pull in the post. That post would be linked to a discount code that would make a sale. It would give you a reminder to pay that person. Super, super complicated. But in my mind, I'm like, this is literally everything you need to run an influencer marketing, strategy from end to end. That's great. And the worst part is when I would explain it all, people were like, oh, this is amazing. I will definitely use this. So it was just as high. Like everyone was saying they want to try it, they want to use it, because when they see all the data in there, they love the end result. But that's before paying. That's before investing the time. So the sad part is I built all of this, and where I'm at now is I actually deleted 80% of the code. So let's just take a look at why. Once people started installing it, what started to happen. So the first reason is complexity. What I did not anticipate is these people I was talking to, they were usually solo store owners or had a few employees. So they only have as many hours in the day as you and I, and they're using that to create new products, fulfill orders, do marketing, fix their website, like literally do everything. So asking them to even spend 30 minutes per day setting this up, that's a huge ask. The other thing is a lot of these companies were not actually making that much revenue, or they were making decent revenue, I should say, but their margins were low. So a lot of the people I talked to, they were even making 10K, 30K, 50K a month, but their margin is 30%. That gets brought way down. So even asking them to spend 200 a month, that's a lot. So they need to be getting return quickly on that. Like it needs to be making them more money than they're spending. And to get to that point, unfortunately, what I saw is people could not figure it out on their own. There was just too much to set up. So the people who did end up not churning, that is canceling their subscription, I had to spend a lot of time training them, joining multiple calls with them, answering chat support, and everything like that. And for me, that also became unsustainable because for every single person, if I was spending 3-4 hours in total just to get them set up, then once they're set up, that doesn't guarantee they're gonna make money with it because they still need to have a good offer. They still need to choose the right influencers. I'm not doing that for them. It is just asking way too much. And the best simple software companies or companies in general that you see, you can join it and you can immediately understand it, get the value, and at least start getting to the main thing that's beneficial quickly and easily. Because every additional minute you make someone wait, go through hoops, you're gonna lose people. Like people's attention span is short. Even business owners, they don't have that much time. So the complexity was probably the biggest thing I didn't anticipate. And then on top of that, all these features, let's even just take one, the email tool. Someone would request that and I would build it. However, once you build it, now what are people comparing it to? They're comparing it to companies like Klaviyo, ConvertKit, MailChimp. These are email marketing tools that are worth billions of dollars. They have thousands of employees. They've just perfected the product. And now people are comparing your email tool to these other tools that have literally millions invested into their development. And you're just not going to be able to compete. And they also only do that. So what I realized is like you can build the feature, but people are still going to be asking for why does MailChimp have this and you don't? And to say you don't have time or you don't have $1 million in the bank, they're not going to accept that as a reason. Listening to the solutions people proposed, I realized that was the incorrect strategy. Listening to the problems, and then if you take away, I guess maybe one thing, the 20% that is giving 80% of the results, the Pareto principle, and in my case, that is the influencer data. Just having that, it's going to be simpler. It's going to be higher quality because you're just focused on that. And then as far as the emailing goes and so on, people can just download the leads and then use their own email tool. Even though you're doing less, you're doing it better. So bringing it back to this point, where's the value? I do think, and I feel strongly about this, that most solo developers or small companies, they can build their value around data because data is readily available. And it is also, especially in a business context, this is effectively just how you make better decisions, right? So the way I think about it is it can be influencer marketing. It can be any other niche. If you can help businesses make the right decision 10% more of the time, then you're making them most likely a lot of money. In other words, if I could start over, I would start with just the data. What data do I have access to and how can I make this valuable? And for getting ideas and then actually even getting that data, one of the best places I've found, and I've talked to them quite extensively, asked them a bunch of questions, they're great, is Bright Data. So one of their features is a scraping tool. It allows you to create your own pools of data from around the internet, and they take care of all the infrastructure, the stuff that is not really fun to set up. But if you want to get set up even faster, you can use their data sets, and you can browse those from their website. And this is pre-scraped validated data that you can start using right away within your app. So as you can see, there are like data sets for crypto, lawyers, LinkedIn. Building my app from scratch again, I would start with, for example, the TikTok data sets. And then I can easily just use this almost like as a database that I didn't have to rely on myself or users to build from scratch, and then have that be the core foundation of my app, the value my app is delivering. So to put this in context, in my V2 of my app, which I'm just launching on Product Hunt, I have a Chrome extension that with a click of a button, you can see detailed demographic data of any TikTok profile right in the browser in Chrome. And the insights that this provides is you can see how many people who follow this guy are my target audience, could potentially buy my product, because every brand is going to have a customer profile. They know how old, gender, and country that their customers are in. So if you're trying to come up with an idea for your app, or even just build practice projects that actually have utility, which goes a long way, even when you're trying to get jobs, get freelance work, you can build something with actual utility and put it in your portfolio. That's massive. And for a small investment, we're talking a few $100. You can start with Bright Data, have a data pool, and then just build around that. And it's really like a cheat code to creating an MVP. So check them out. And if you are going to build something, let me know what it is. And I've left the link below for you to give it a try. Okay, so there is one more kind of miscalculation that I made. Maybe you can guess what it is. People say it is the hardest part about starting an app. It's not actually the coding. It is acquiring customers. It's growing. And for just a normal coder, like, you have no idea where to even start. But I had a bit of an ego because we scaled my code bootcamp pretty well. We used paid ads, YouTube, email marketing. So I thought, yeah, I got this, no problem. So I think it'll be interesting if I run through the marketing channels and how they went. Most of them didn't go well, but maybe you can learn a thing or two here. So the first thing I obviously used was those calls that cost $100 each. And I thought those were going to be really good leads, because on the call, everyone was saying like, yeah, I'll try it, I'll sign up, whatever. But then you send them the link, they don't really do it. You try to get them to sign up on the call. A lot of them are probably there just to get paid. So overall, I would say when I got good, I was getting 1 in 4 to sign up, which is not bad, but that's for a free trial. And then 50% of those free trials will continue. The other half, they just really never get it set up, to be honest with you. Anyway, when you do the math, that is 1 out of 8. So that's $800 for sign up. Doing the math further, if I look at the timeline, first month is free. And then to get to 800, that is break even. That is 5 months of getting paid $200 each until I'm in the green, so to speak. So yes, this was working, but from a cash flow perspective, the more people I wanted to sign up, the more money I was losing up front. In other words, for each additional person, I was down 800 on day 1, and then I'd finally get back to even in month 5. And that is after spending a lot of time training people and doing all the work in between. Okay, so I thought I have to get this $800 cost per acquisition down. What am I gonna do? I tried YouTube ads, Facebook ads, and what I discovered through the keyword research tools, as well as the people who were booking calls to learn more, is that the crossover between Shopify and influencer marketing, it's difficult to target, because when you look at the search traffic, the term Shopify influencer marketing, it's very specific, it's pretty long tail. And just influencer marketing is a lot more broad, because when you think about it, even Shopify stores, they're not necessarily going to add the keyword Shopify. They're just going to be looking for influencer marketing. And regardless of how I set up the targeting, and I am pretty good at ads, I was still getting people who were just interested in influencer marketing and did not have a Shopify store. It was like more than half of the people doing the contact form, booking calls, and whatever. So the targeting there was becoming an issue. However, beyond YouTube and Facebook ads, I did have one channel that was working, and it is on the Shopify app store. They have like their own app store, and you can run ads there and get like a good placement in the search results. So I was getting good signups there, about $150 each. The problem is, number one, the search traffic was relatively low. And then number two, most of the people who signed up in this way, they were not booking calls. It was about 1 in 4. And I just knew if I didn't talk to them, they were not going to figure out how to do it on their own. Like it was just too much. There's just too much going on, like within the app, and it takes too much time. I had a bad feeling, and it turned out to be true with almost everyone who didn't book a call. So only 1 in 4. So my real cost per acquisition on the App Store was $600 when you do the math. Anyway, for people not interested in marketing, maybe that was boring, but that's how all my channels work. Just wanted to be transparent and share. And using these methods, we still got up to 17 users, so 4,000-ish per month revenue. Now, to summarize my mistakes, and I'll also share how I'm going forward, I'm basically doing a huge pivot that solves all these problems. Anyway, to summarize, due to the complexity and the training and the 80-20 principle, I've deleted 80% of the features, 80% of the code, which is super painful because I wrote over 100,000 lines, brutal. And what we're just gonna keep is the search and the data insights, which is 2 out of the 3 problems I'm solving anyway, minus the automation. But even it helps with the automation because you can still get the contact email. You can plug that into your email marketing tool. You can use readily accessible data sources. Bright Data's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram datasets will do the job. You don't need to scrape any data, write scrapers, or pay for APIs. It's a plug-and-play solution, saving you time and lots of frustration that I did not build, and that'll save you time. So if you count that as automation, I guess it counts. Number 2, moving off Shopify, because just doing that, it's gonna increase my TAM, addressable market size, by 20x based on search traffic, and that will hopefully reopen YouTube and Facebook ads more as a traffic source. And number 3, most importantly, which kind of is related to the other 2, is getting people to the value in minutes instead of requiring all this complicated setup. And the way I'm doing that is just you install, you get some free credits. Every profile you download is a credit. And then you can either go directly to the profile, use the Chrome extension, super easy to understand, you see it right there, or you can use the search, just fill out the filters, click to save. And the hope is you can immediately save like 20, 30 people, say, wow, I got these leads, 10 times faster than I would have just on Instagram. I know they're going to be good because I see the stats. You're like right there within less than 10 minutes, you've got a couple hundred influencers. So that's the vision, that's the strategy. And we're still solving the same main problems. So I really think this idea still has potential. I'm not giving up. But again, I really do need your help. If you can jump over to Product Hunt, I really appreciate that. And I think it has to be the same day. So I'm releasing this video at the same time. Other than that, check out Bright Data. They're really sick, really great starting point, because if we can create like a community of people building different apps, I think that would be cool as well. Yeah, so it's probably what I'm going to be sharing more of, practical coding, building products, and not just focused on Angular, React, whatever. So if that's interesting for you, we'll definitely talk more in future videos. Anyway, guys, appreciate your help. I appreciate you listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hope it was interesting.